Have you ever stopped to wonder why some men seem to have a natural magnetism while others struggle to even get a date? Not about looks, it's not about money, and it's definitely not about those manipulative techniques you see out there. It's about something much deeper, something that resides at the core of your masculine essence. What if I told you there are 4 fundamental secrets that completely transform your ability to attract and connect? Secrets that seduction gurus don't want you to know because they'd rather sell you cookie-cutter formulas that don't work. Get ready, because what you're about to discover will radically change the way you connect with others. This isn't just another piece of generic content. It's a journey of real transformation that starts now. Let's take a deep dive into an exploration that goes beyond. A journey that requires the courage to look inward and the willingness to change. You'll need some essential tools: a notebook to jot down your daily reflections, a mirror to practice your nonverbal communication, and most importantly, the readiness to step out of your comfort zone. The rule is simple but powerful. Each day you must apply at least one new technique and observe the results. No excuses, no procrastination. Are you ready to discover the secrets that will transform not only your love life, but your masculine presence as a whole? First, let's talk about the invisible foundation that supports all genuine attraction. It's authentic masculine energy. Not that macho caricature many confuse with real masculinity. We're talking about an inner strength that naturally radiates when you are aligned with your life's purpose. Women feel this instantly. They sense when a man is trying to be something he's not, when he's wearing a mask. Masculine authenticity is about knowing your values, your boundaries, your ambitions, and living in accordance with them without seeking permission or approval. Imagine this situation. You're at a party surrounded by interesting people. Most of the men there are trying to impress, bragging, showing off accomplishments. You're different. You converse with genuine interest, ask questions because you truly want to know the answers, laugh when something is genuinely funny, not to please. Do you notice how people start to gravitate towards you? How conversations flow more naturally? That's authentic masculine energy in action. The first obstacle you'll face is fear of judgment. That inner voice that tells you you need to be more of this or less of that to be accepted. The second obstacle is social pressure to conform, to follow the script everyone expects. But here's the twist. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting the right people, those who resonate with your true essence. I'll share a transformative experience. A client of mine, let's call him Mike, always struggled with women. He tried to be the funny guy, the intellectual, the bad boy, depending on who he was trying to impress. The result? Exhaustion and frustration. When he finally decided to just be himself, an introverted guy who loves video games and science fiction, something magical happened. He started attracting women who shared his genuine interests. The connection was real, deep, lasting. How have you been presenting yourself to the world? Are you showing who you really are, or are you playing a character? What if I told you that the next secret will teach you how to communicate this authenticity in a way that needs no words? If you're feeling that this resonates, hit that like button now and continue with me on this Second, let's explore the lost art of not about what you say, about how you exist in a space. It's about occupying your place in the world with quiet confidence. Women are masters at reading body language, at sensing the energy you emanate before you even open your mouth. They notice if you're comfortable in your own skin, if you believe in your own worth. Think about the last time you walked into a room and felt all eyes turn to someone. What was special about that person? It probably wasn't the most beautiful or the richest. It was the way they moved, how they occupied the space, how their energy filled the room. That's magnetic presence, and it's something you can develop. The exercise is simple but powerful. Every morning before leaving home, stand for 5 minutes in front of the mirror, not to fix your hair or check your outfit, but to practice your presence. Maintain eye contact with yourself. Breathe deeply. Feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Roll your shoulders back, not exaggeratedly, but enough to open your chest and allow yourself to breathe fully. Now practice your smile, not that fake photo smile, a genuine smile that starts in your eyes. The first challenge you'll encounter is the initial discomfort. It will feel strange, artificial. Your body will want to revert to your old posture, the one you've maintained for years. The second challenge is inconsistency. It's easy to remember to maintain good posture for 5 minutes, but difficult to maintain it all day. But here's the secret. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness. Every time you catch yourself reverting to old patterns, gently correct yourself. Let me tell you about another revealing case. John was always an attractive guy, had zero success with women. Why? His body language screamed insecurity, slumped shoulders, downcast gaze, hands always in his pockets. When he started working on his presence, the change was dramatic. Nothing about his physical appearance changed. Suddenly, women started initiating conversations with him. One of them even commented, "There's something different about you, an energy that draws attention." Magnetic presence also manifests in the way you move, not with anxious rush, not with lazy slowness, but with purpose. Every movement has intention. When you walk like someone who knows. When you sit like someone who chose to be there. When you speak like someone who has something valuable to say. But beware. Magnetic presence is not about dominating space or intimidating others. It's about being so comfortable with yourself that others feel comfortable around you. It's about radiating a calm confidence that says, "I know who I am, I know my worth, and I'm at peace with it." How have you been occupying your space in the world? With apologetic shyness or with authentic presence? Third, we arrive at the most delicate and powerful territory, strategic vulnerability. Yes, you read that right. Vulnerability. I know. We've been taught that men should be strong, impenetrable, immune to emotions. Let me reveal a secret that goes against everything you've learned. True strength lies in knowing when and how to open up. We're not talking about whining or dumping your problems on just anyone. We're talking about a calculated, authentic vulnerability, deep and lasting connection. Women don't fall in love with perfect robots. They fall in love with real human beings with fears, dreams, scars, and stories. Strategic vulnerability is about sharing these parts of yourself at the right time, in the right way, creating emotional intimacy that transcends superficial attraction. Let's be practical. Imagine you're on a date. The conversation is flowing. She asks about your robotic answer would be to give basic information and change the subject. The strategically vulnerable answer would be to share something real, perhaps how your parents' divorce taught you to value stable relationships, how a sibling's illness made you realize the importance of living in the present. It's not about creating drama or seeking pity. It's about showing the experiences that shaped you. The first obstacle here is the visceral fear of appearing weak. That old programming that says showing emotion is a sign of weakness. The second obstacle is not knowing the right measure. Some men, when they discover the power of vulnerability, overdo it and turn dates into therapy sessions. Balance is crucial. Let me share a powerful story. Chris was the typical alpha male. He never showed emotions, always had the answers, never admitted mistakes. The result? Superficial relationships that didn't last more than a few months. When he finally allowed himself to be vulnerable, telling a woman about his fear of not being good enough at work, something changed. She didn't see him as weak. On the contrary, she saw courage in his honesty. That moment of vulnerability created a connection that years of macho posturing never could. Strategic vulnerability also means admitting when you don't know something, when you've made a mistake, when you're nervous. You know that feeling of butterflies in your stomach before an important... Instead of pretending to be super calm, try saying, "I confess I'm a little nervous. It's been a while since I met someone who makes me feel this way." Watch the magic happen. She'll probably smile, relax, maybe even admit she's nervous too. But here's the crucial point. Vulnerability without limits is emotional manipulation. You're not trying to elicit pity or maternal care. You're creating a bridge of human authenticity. It's about showing that you're strong enough to be real, courageous enough to let your guard down when appropriate. Strategic vulnerability also manifests in asking for help when you need it, in expressing your feelings maturely, in not having all the answers. It's about being a whole human being, not a two-dimensional character. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be truly vulnerable with someone? How did that make you feel? Fourth, and perhaps the most transformative of all secrets, the art of deep, active listening. I know what you're thinking. Listening. Seriously, that's a secret. But wait, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you connect with women. We're not just talking about hearing words while planning what you'll say next. We're talking about listening that penetrates the soul, that makes the person feel truly seen and understood. Most men listen to respond. They're so focused on appearing intelligent, funny, or impressive that they miss the opportunity to create real connection. Deep active listening is about being completely present, absorbing not just the words, but the emotions, the pauses, the unsaid. It's about asking questions that show you truly care about the answers. Do a practical exercise that will transform your interactions. When she's talking, resist the urge to interrupt or formulate your response. Instead, focus on 3 levels: saying, how she says it, and why she's saying it. Surface, tone of voice, the body language, pauses, all of it communicates. And behind every story there's an emotional need, a desire to be understood, validated, connected. First challenge you'll face is your own chattering mind. That voice that wants to impress, that fears silence, that's always planning the next clever remark. The second challenge is impatience. In an era of fragmented attention, dedicating total focus to another person seems almost impossible. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. I'll tell you about an experience that perfectly illustrates this power. Robert was known as the guy with the pickup lines. He always had a ready-made line, always tried to be the funniest guy in the group. Success with women? Zero lasting success. When he learned the art of deep active listening, everything changed. On a date, instead of monopolizing the conversation with his stories, he asked genuine questions and listened, truly listened. The woman later said, "I've never felt so understood by someone I just met." Deep active listening has specific components. First, eye contact. Not that creepy fixed stare, but a present gaze, which occasionally shifts to process what was said. Second, reflection. Periodically paraphrase what she said to confirm that you understood. So you felt that it sounds like this was very important to you because... Third, deepening questions. How did that make you feel? What did you learn from that experience? What would you do differently? But the most powerful element of deep active listening is comfortable silence. When she finishes speaking, don't rush to fill the void. Sometimes, silence invites deeper revelations. It's in these moments of shared stillness that true intimacy flourishes. You become the man with whom she can be herself, without masks, without performances. Deep active listening also means remembering details. When she mentions she loves coffee with cinnamon, you store that information. When she tells you about an important presentation next week, you ask about it on your next date. These small gestures show that you not only heard, but that you cared enough to remember. And here's a secret within the secret. When you truly listen, you learn exactly what she needs emotionally. Some women need security, others adventure. Some value stability, others spontaneity. Deep active listening gives you the map to her heart, not to manipulate, but to connect authentically with what resonates in her soul. Now, how do you integrate these 4 secrets into a cohesive approach? Masculine authenticity is your foundation. Magnetic presence is your expression. Strategic vulnerability is your bridge to connection. Deep active listening is your tool for intimacy. Together, they create an irresistible synergy that transcends any superficial seduction technique. Imagine yourself 30 days from now. You walk into a social setting with a completely different energy. You're no longer trying to impress or win people over. You are simply being with all your authenticity and presence. Conversations flow naturally because you are genuinely interested in people. Connections deepen because you allow yourself to be vulnerable. Women are attracted not by some trick or technique, but because in your presence they feel seen, heard, and valued. The path isn't easy. It will require you to abandon old patterns, face deep-seated fears, and practice even when it feels uncomfortable. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you'll want to revert to old ways of being. In those moments that you need to remember, what you've always done has brought you to this point. If you want different results, you need different actions. Transformation begins with small steps. Today, practice your presence for 5 minutes. Tomorrow, in a conversation, ask a genuine question and listen to the answer without interruption. Day after tomorrow, share something true about yourself, even if it feels scary. Day after day, step by step, you will build a new version of yourself. Not a fake or manufactured version, but the most authentic and powerful expression of who you truly are. And here's the final truth few will tell you. When you embody these 4 secrets, not only does your love life transform, your entire existence gains a new dimension. You become a more complete, more connected, more alive man. Women are naturally attracted to this. The greatest benefit is who you become in the process. Comment now, which of these 4 secrets resonated most with you? Is it masculine authenticity you need to develop? Magnetic presence you need to strengthen? Strategic vulnerability you need to embrace? or the art of deep active listening you need to master. Share your journey. Inspire other men who are on the same path. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming content. Delve deeper into each of these topics. Hit the notification bell because the transformation you seek is just one decision away. The decision to stop being who you think you should be and start being who you really are. The power has always been in your hands. The question is, are you ready to use it?